Hey everyone, this is LCID 932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. We're back in Mexico. We're going to be covering today Love is Blind Mexico, episodes 5 and 6. When I tell you Mexico is bringing the spice, I don't know what other Love is Blind you're watching right now, but Mexico is giving. It is giving. I'm loving Mexico. I'm watching UK. My reviews for the UK are out, so you could certainly enjoy those. And I also did last season of Brazil. So if you do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Glad you're coming on back or glad that you're here for the first time. But I will tell you, Mexico is bringing every bit of heat and flavor we are looking for in the Love is Blind franchise. So, episode 5. Saul tells the group if he takes Letty's hand and asks her how her day is, she just pushes his hand away and says, "Not right now." Yeah. Sylvia is shocked. She's like, "I don't believe you." And Gerardo goes to Saul and says, your patience is running thin, and Saul is like, he feels like he's been trying to make things work and he's wanting to make things work. Sorry. Letty feels misunderstood, and Saul has expectations of her and how she shows affection in a particular way, which is understood. It's like, if I don't like somebody holding my hand, don't hold my hand. But you need to talk about these things. You need to talk about how affection translates for you. So Willie and Francesca, she asks if he is intimidated by how sure she is about all of this and all of life, because she's a very, sure woman about what she's doing and where she's going, what she wants in life. And, he says he thinks he's just overthinking things and he's not feeling the same level of clarity and certainty that she is. So Francesca says, is this because of the experiment or is this how he really feels? And she's just, I need to understand. Letty says she feels a lot of pressure to make things work and doesn't think that she can. And she went to sleep elsewhere for mental clarity. Now, I understand I'm two-sided about this. Yes, you may need space for mental clarity, but if you remove yourself completely, are you creating distance? You have to worry about that. Now, Chema and Sylvia, he thinks, they'll be fine in the real world. They've got this. And they kind of high-fiving each other, which I'm watching. Because though Chema is saying all of the great things, I'm not seeing, everyday couple, affection, holding her hand. I'm not seeing that a whole lot. Because many times they're in the group setting and they're on opposite ends. Not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying for people who just met, it's a little odd for me. So Gerardo and Fernanda say this connecting on a stronger, and the real world will test all the levels of their connection. Fernando and Karen, she went to go smoke and he made a face and sigh. And he doesn't want to live with someone who, smokes every day. And he doesn't want to smell smoke all over his partner or in their bedroom. Karen says she's stressed out because of meeting his mother soon. And, mother-in-laws don't always accept the daughter-in-laws, especially ones who already come with a kid. So Karen's already feeling judged. And I wonder, Karen, how many, mothers of the gentlemen you've dated before have the mothers judged you because you are a single parent? Yes, your daughter's father is in his life, you said, is in her life, and you said that. But Karen, it's so heavy, this judgment, that you are going to smoke knowing your partner has a reaction to smoking. And he mentioned that in the pod. So it's not something you don't know. Saul and Letty at breakfast, Letty says, last night she saw a side of him that she did not like. And, she's feeling very overwhelmed. And his drinking, affected how he communicated. He said he's learned that he has to give affection unconditionally and he cannot look for something back. And, she said, it seemed like he wanted to prove a point in the group. Every time he would come and try to show her affection and she would push him away, it's like he was trying to show the group, see, I told you she was pushing me away. But, she says she's overstimulated, she's stressed, and when this happens, she can't think and process other things. She felt empty, and even though she felt empty, he was looking for her to pour into him. Saul said, she's been kind, and he's never been with someone who feels this deeply. And he made a mistake expecting her to give as he gives. She's hurting, this is not working. Saul is willing to try. She said she's mad and confused, and he admits that he is responsible for how she is feeling. I thought that was a very good conversation they had. If you go look at the scene, it's, good in navigating communication with your partner, especially when you've put them into this mental state. It's really, really good conversation. So we go to Mexico City. The couples move into their apartments. Yay. So if you remember from last time, Renee and Iris are a couple. And I apologize if it's Ireas, but they were saying it in the translated version as Iris. And I watched this translated into English and subtitled in English. She wanted to see him again, in case everything's different. She sent him a message and he got excited in seeing her. And he felt hurt, that she would never see him again. And she's like, I was just nervous. It was too much. It was too much in her head. He noticed she's still wearing the ring. And she asked him to continue the experiment with her. And he says, of course. And I'm like, now you love everything about him? Y'all met up, as we saw in the last one, he arrived at a meeting place, but now you love everything about him. Iris, I'm finding it hard to believe. I don't know if you want to be on the show or if you really like Renee, but it's a good thing that you reached out to him. And I'm thinking you had a chance to kind of go through your notebook and remember why you like Renee. And this is why you are considering being with him. Yeah, but I'm watching you side eye because we could have been in Tulum. Renee should have been like, we could have been in Tulum having a vacation that I didn't have to pay for. We know Renee said he likes to spend. So if you really wanted to help save money, Iris, you would have gone to Tulum with him so he wouldn't have to spend on a vacation. I know I'm petty. But I'm looking out for Iris. She wants to save money. Iris said, it was intense telling her family. Renee said his sisters were skeptical and he loves that they were able to talk and go over things. And, she's like, why don't we just get married now? Iris, you just changed your mind. You just brought him back. Now you want to just jump in and get married. Renee, I wouldn't get married that day. Sorry. So we have Sylvia and Chema. She's afraid that she will have to clean up after Chema. He would just leave things dropped all over the house. And Chema said, are you house proud? Put a comment in the chat. What do you think house proud means? And we realize neither Chema nor Sylvia cook. Now, Sylvia, you told us you like to eat. I'm guessing you're saying you like to eat out. Neither of you cook? Somebody got to cook. Somebody got to especially cook when Chema's daughter is there. The little girl got to eat something home cooked. Wow. So Fernando and Karen, she will tell her daughter on the phone later because, they get back their phones and, they will video call as well later. Karen's concerned if Fernando really wants marriage and a family. If he leaves, he'll be breaking her daughter's heart too. This is where I have another issue. Karen, I understand you are a single parent, but all the single parents that came on this show, this is the chance you're taking. Don't say if Fernando says no, he's breaking your daughter's heart too. You, Karen, you have brought your daughter along for the ride. Because when you went to the pods, you weren't going by yourself. You had to consider your daughter. And if you met someone, what were you going to do? We also have another single parent, Francesca. I would love to hear her thought about this, because this is what you risk. Your child is involved in this, and now all of a sudden you're like, you'll be breaking my daughter's heart too. No, you will be breaking your daughter's heart because you brought her along on this. You could have stayed out the pods, or you could have been like, nah, I ain't gonna do this. And I'm wondering, have you not navigated dating someone and then meeting your daughter and it no longer working? So that's where I'm kind of worried, Karen. Has your daughter never met anyone you've dated? And in this case, it is different because now you're going to be possibly rejected at the altar with your daughter there. You have to have thought of this. I mean, come on. How do you explain this to your child? I had to think about that. How do you explain this to your child? And did you not think about this when you went into this? Ooh, heavy stuff. So Saul and Letty. Letty, says the person she met within Saul on the holiday is not who she knew in the pods. And it hurt that he said he was giving, his all, and she was a cold person to the other people. Saul did apologize, though. He apologized. He said he's a control freak, and because he wasn't receiving the affection he wanted, he kind of snapped. She wanted a family, that they talked about, and she doesn't see that happening. So she decides to leave. Lady does not unpack. She had just wheeled in her luggage, and now she's wheeling it back out. And Letty says this is a pattern she faces with partners who are jealous and controlling. Saul says he has no regrets. Letty, if this is a pattern you're seeing, I would like you to go further in depth into it and figure out what about you is drawing in a partner that is jealous and controlling. That is something worth exploring, definitely. So we get our cell phones back. You know what I would love to see, Love is Blind? I would love to see, after everybody gets their cell phones, that we hear all the ding, 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 ding. We hear all the messages just dinging in. Sylvia and Chema, Sylvia's like, there are a lot of folks in her messages because when she stopped replying, people were checking for her. You tell him, Sylvia. Chema said he just wants to see pictures of his daughter again because he hasn't had his phone or any pictures. Francesca is so cute. She's like, Will, can I have your number? Willie's like, oh my God, that's right. We're engaged and we don't have each other's number. That is too funny. Fernando and Karen, apparently Iris contacted Karen. Fernando takes the phone and like, ooh, let's see what Iris looks like. So Karen gave him the side eye, like, yeah, you want to know what she looks like? And he's like, oh, she's not, as I pictured her. I pictured her as tanned with dark hair. Karen frowns at him and looks at him again, another side eye, because she remembers that he said his type is tanned and dark hair, just like her. And, Shady Boots, Netflix, they played the clip when he said that. So he leaves Iris a voice note on Karen's phone. He said she's pretty, but she's not how he pictured. Karen, I needed you to give him another side eye. Karen wants props in another scene. She wants props for not smoking that day. But she said, I will that night. See, I didn't smoke all day, but tonight I will. She's nervous about meeting his mom. And if his family excludes her daughter, then she cannot continue with him. I understand you, Karen. His family also has to welcome your daughter into the fold. She said she would marry him like yesterday if it was just her, but she has to think of her daughter. So Fernando asked about, the gifts that he got from Iris. And Karen is like, you can sleep with that teddy bear she got you. And she will sleep on the couch. And she won't talk to Iris when she sees her again. Iris just gave the man the gifts before he was technically your fiance. You could get on him for keeping it, but there's nothing wrong with Iris giving him a gift. Put a pin in that because that's going to pop up later. Gerardo and Fernanda. Gerardo is nervous to meet Fernanda's family. And mom is concerned that, Fernanda might fall in love and get rejected because she is expressive and sensitive. Then her dog Argos comes in and, she's picking him up. They're going to live with them. She leaves to take Argos for a walk, and mom and Gerardo get to talk. Now, mom has a beautiful house. It is amazingly beautiful. Absolutely. Mom, didn't know where Fernanda went. I'm finding a lot of problems with families when they don't know where their child is gone. And that's hard. You're gone for 3 weeks to a month. I cannot reach you, can't talk to you, have no way of finding you. I mean, you could at least tell them you're going on a show. At least tell them why you have no phone rather than them sending a search party. The mom, he says, we will see if you are serious, and the mom is on a we will see train. She likes him. She sees that they're attuned to each other. They're close. And, she wishes they have a great future. Sylvia and Chema, they go to the market. He's like, I don't like going to the market. When we together, could we just order the groceries delivered? Can we do that? Sylvia's like, I like going to the market. Sylvia, we just covered that you don't like to cook, but I'm guessing you're going to the market for other things. But I was real judgy with that. How would you? I like going to the market. You don't cook. So she says, oh, you don't eat beans, right? He's like, yeah, I don't eat beans because else I will talk through the other end. Chema, you are hilarious. You are hilarious. I love that phrase. Then Chema says, you'll be paying today, right? So tell me if I'm picking up too much or if I have a set allowance. And if she wants, he'll pitch in. And she's like, yeah, he likes expensive groceries. I'm like, girl. That'll be why he wants to order it, because he ain't looking at the price tag. Sylvia, says her mom doesn't know about the experiment. It has been her and her mom forever. And so there's a big bear hug from mom. So, Chema is all sugar. Oh my God, you look beautiful, mama. You are awesome. Da, 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 da. Mom is wow about the ring, and says he could have Sylvia's hands, feet, whatever. Mom, supposed to put up some resistance. Okay, check him out first. Don't just give your daughter away. So Chema, does ask for Sylvia's hand in marriage. Mom says yes, gives him a big old hug. And, she says she adores and is proud of Sylvia and all she's accomplished. And, she says one beautiful phrase. Mama says, everything can be rose tinted if you paint your life the way you want it to be. That was beautiful, Mama. Though life ain't always going to take to the paint that you put up. But that was beautiful, Mama. Chema says, why he fell in love with Sylvia, and he tells Mom he has a daughter. So Mom is very open to that because she's like, you have a daughter that you love, you treat well, then you will treat my daughter well. Mom is very accepting. Then Sylvia says, hey, the daughter's mom sent me a text and told me welcome to the family. Now that is worth getting the phones back for, because for the mother of his child to say, hey, I heard about this, I know about this, and I want to welcome you, says a lot about the relationship that Chema and her have as co-parents. Francesca and Willie. Francesca said they're adapting, to each other really well. And Willie says he wants a non-religious ceremony. And Francesca says Mila, the last time she met someone she dated was in January, but that was just for one day on her birthday. And she won't introduce her daughter to any old fool. You tell him, Francesca. He says his mother may ask some intimate questions, and his brain says no, but his heart says yes. I want to know who wins out, Willie. Okay? But we learn later on, and y'all realize these weddings were December. So with these weddings being December, most of this was happening either November or December, considering they only have, 10 days and then a month before the wedding. So I'll say pushing it maybe October, November-ish, and then weddings in December. So your daughter just met somebody about 10 months ago. I think it's enough time. But let me know in the comments. I think it's way enough time that she, hasn't dated someone long enough for her daughter to meet. So Gerardo decides to host a barbecue at the complex for all the couples. So I thought that was sweet. Gerardo, talks meeting his future mother-in-law, and Chema's like, is the mother-in-law hot? Chema, come on now. And he didn't even talk about, like, you'll see what she looks like later on in life because mama is a carbon copy. No, Chema was like, is she hot? It's like, no, you went to check out the place because you want to see how much money she come from. Chema. While we're having these antics, Renee and Iris walk in, and Fernando says, this won't end well. End of episode 5. So episode 6 starts with Karen. Why are they here? Karen had heat. Karen was not having it. Karen was like, whoa, why are they here? They weren't in Tulum. They weren't on vacation. What the heck they do? Karen flipped. Fernando says, she's here to be with Renee or on the show. What are her real motives? Is it really Renee or the show? Karen says, Renee was not Iris's first choice. So Iris tells them what happens about, meeting up with Renee, finding him on social media. They talked and decided to do the show or do the experience together. Karen says, Iris, talked about Fernando exclusively and only mentioned Renee in passing in the ladies' lounge. Tells the group how they can be so happy when Iris professed her love for Fernando. Yikes. Now, yikes. Somebody says the hits keep coming. And when I say keep coming, Karen kept coming for Iris's neck. Karen says she is shocked that they are together, meaning Renee and Iris. And Fernando is looking at her like, babe, why do you care? Why do you care? Willie says, communication clears things up. Mr. Willie in for the save. Karen said, give me a break. That they are now so in love and now they're here. And Fernanda is like, can we get some context? What is going on here? Why is this so much heat? Karen stops and looks at Fernando. It's like, no, Karen, you had so much to say. Why don't you finish saying it? Why are you looking at him? He ain't the one acting a fool. Sorry. Fernando says, Iris gave him gifts in hopes of swaying him. This was like her last shot at getting him. And Renee knows it and it's cool. And Renee was like, yeah, I knew about the gifts. And Iris said he agreed to be, they agreed to be friends. This is Fernando still talking. They agreed to be friends and he should keep the gifts. And he was already locked on with Karen. Karen says she's shocked, but she don't believe it. I don't believe it. Your fiance is sitting here telling you what it is, and you don't believe it. Iris is like, what Fernando and her had in the pods is over. She had already sent the gifts to Fernando before he had chosen Karen. And she really didn't want them back. And I understand that. If you say, okay, I'm going to give this person the gifts, you're hoping they propose to you. Even though in Mexico, love is blind, the woman can't propose. So in this instance, she was hoping he would propose because she didn't want to propose to anyone. She's like, I gave him the gifts. It didn't work. We're done. So Gerardo's like, so you never declared your love to Iris? I was like, yikes, Gerardo. Stay out of it. You always stay out of it. But good question. Iris says no and looks at Fernando and she's like, right? And he's non-responsive. He's like, I'm like, what does that mean, Fernando? This is no. What does this mean? So Sylvie's like, there's no beef with you, right, ladies? right? Iris is like, no. As far as she knew, there was no beef. Karen's like, this is weird. The last day she declares her love to Fernando, and now she's here all fine and dandy with Renee. Karen, why are you so stressed? Renee says in his confessional, at the end of the day, Iris decided to be with him, and it's best if Karen focuses on her own relationship. Speak it, Renee. Speak it. Whew. The groups are talking about Renee and Iris and the Fernando situation. But before I get to that, because Fernando says, Iris said she wanted to give it a shot in the pods, and Fernando's like, so Karen didn't lie. It's like, technically no, but it's over. Chima says Karen burned it all down like a sizzle. He made the sizzle sound at all. Chima is here for it. I'm going to leave my comments for Karen after all of this is over. So after the barbecue, the couples have gone to their respective apartments. Sylvia and Chima is like, ooh, Karen was nasty. It doesn't say much, but when she does, Fernanda and Gerardo says Karen means when you choose someone, there's room for no one else. But y'all have to realize he had not chosen at that time. And he still had two options. Fernando had two options all the way to the end, which was Iris and Karen. So why is it hard for Iris not to have two connections, which was Fernando and Renee? She was hoping for a proposal from Fernando, but it didn't come. So she decided to go to Renee. Why is it so easy for you to believe the men can do it, but a woman can't? Fernanda, I did not like that. I mean, you choose someone, there's no room for anyone else. What kind of, y'all were dating, I forgot how many people in part, 10, 15, y'all were all dating. There were love triangles. So the men didn't choose till the last moment. So yes, after you choose someone, there's no time. And she chose Renee. Fernando chose Karen, and she's like, hey, let me then see if this will work with Renee. It's okay. It's okay. So the two couples stay back and talk. Fernando with Karen and Iris with Renee. Fernando said, they're together. We're together. No beef, right? Karen is snippy. Yeah, we good. We good. It's all good. Iris says, say what you got to say. Just say what you got to say. Karen's like, no, sweetie, I'm not telling you anything. And that sweetie, ooh, it raked my nerves. So Fernando says to Karen, you're my priority, and I don't want you feeling, shitty. Karen's like, I'm all good. Here's my question, Karen. You have expressed in the pods that you would like to continue being a swinger, which is meaning bringing other people into your intimate activity with your partner. How are you into this swinging lifestyle and you can't deal with this? How are you okay with someone coming into the most intimate part of your relationship, but you're not okay with Iris and Fernando having had, talks and stuff? He did not choose her. Okay, so she moved on to the next person. I don't understand. I cannot connect this with Karen. You want to swing. I mean, are you then in the swinging aspect of things emotionally turned off? Did you just turn off emotions? We can't talk, so we can't get to know each other. Is that how you rationalize it? Because that's the only way I can see it. Because it's like you still have to get to know the people or the person you are bringing into your relationship in that capacity. I just don't get it. Maybe it's just me. But if you are going looking, you said, how would you like to do a threesome with another woman? He has to also talk to that other woman. It's not, something is disconnecting. Fernando said it's okay if she has an issue, but I won't let that affect, the relationship. It won't affect them, meaning him and Renee, they're cool. He and Iris, they're cool. But if Karen and Iris are not cool, that's fine. Iris says, I get where Karen's coming from. Renee and I are a separate thing. Karen's like, you told me one thing and did another. Karen, sweetie, I'm going to use your sweetie. Sweetie, this is a competition, even if it's a dating show. So I'm sorry. I may have played it like Iris. I may have told y'all I really like some other guy to take y'all off the scent of the guy that I really liked. It's a competition. Okay, sweetie. Karen's like, I don't give a what you do and who you do it with. And Iris is like, if you don't care, why you keep talking about it? Hit her with it, Iris. Hit her with it. You are too fired up for someone who doesn't care. Come on now, Karen. How are we supposed to believe that? Karen goes off on Iris. You're here to F with me, not because you want to be with him. Ooh, child. Karen, how are we supposed to bring in the additional lady into this unit that you were talking about? And you got this kind of tirade with Iris, who never been with Fernando. In Karen's confessional, she says, Renee is brave to be with someone that wasn't that into you. You second choice. Fernando tells Karen, take it down a notch. Can we just a notch? Karen's like, she's not angry. She's angry because, it's one thing to say one thing and do something else. And Iris went on and on and on about sisterhood, and then did something different. Iris is like, you have some issues to deal with, and it's not about us. Ooh, burn. Burn. Karen says, if Renee is okay with this, then do whatever. Iris and Renee decide to leave, and Fernando talks to Karen. Karen, why are you so pressed? You got the man and the ring on your finger. Why are you pressed, baby girl? Fernando says, can you just let it go and not bring it up again? Karen's like, she can do whatever she wants to do. If she wants to bring it up again, she will. And Fernando is like, tries to tell her, they're a team. What affects her affects him. Karen's like, he's going to have to deal with what she said. Fernando said, this is threatening our relationship. He's sitting next to her when she pops off. This also blows back on him. Here's Shady DJ at the Netflix station. The song they played is I'm Done With You. Ooh, child. Ooh, that one burned a lot. Renee and Iris go back to their, apartment. Karen, Renee says Karen has some unresolved issues, and it caught him off guard. But he thinks that Karen cares about Iris, and he cares about her a lot. And Iris is like, this won't change her relationship with Renee. Oh, Karen, you just went off on them what's going to happen in the jealousy arena when you bring that other person in your relationship? I don't want to see it. Willie and Francesca. Willie is nervous and scared to meet Francesca's family. They do it over video chat. Willie says that her parents look like rock stars. Her father looks like a rock star. And I'm telling you, he does. Both parents have long blonde hair, but the father has long, straight blonde hair. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Willie. Mila, he says, looked very mature. And Mila was nervous because she hadn't had any contact with her mom for 3 weeks. But she's happy to see that her mom is indeed happy. They say that Mila is an independent, cheerful child. And Francesca's mom says, what does his family think about all this? Willie's like, his family is more conservative and his mom is tough. Okay, that's one way to say it. Jordan and Fernanda, they go with her dog to the park, and she says her dog has other issues, especially with male dogs. He said he wants to live in Mexico City. He could see it being, great place for career, but it's safer in Monterrey. But she's like, there are not many dog parks in Monterrey. Now, also in this scene, there's several times where Fernanda's dog, Argos, almost has an altercation with other dogs. So, dog parks, all the dogs are without a leash, so they can run about freely and play. Well, hers is on the leash. And there's somebody else's dog coming up, and her dog is like, oh, no, buddy, don't roll up on me. The dog never attacked anybody, but it was some grandstanding with the dogs. And as a, dog mama myself, I have 2 dogs. What I see with that is a lack of socialization. And we'll see that further. When the dogs are socialized with other dogs, yeah, they may not like it, but they will stand there and allow another dog to greet them, the way dogs greet each other, which is sniffing. They will let a dog greet them. But it seems her dog, don't greet me, don't come close to me, we're going to have a problem. Hope he didn't learn it from his mama, okay? So Iris and Renee, her family is visiting. Her dad is not coming, so Renee says he's less nervous. She's like, but my dad sent his questions. Now, I do believe her dad is no longer with them, but don't quote me on that. Renee says it is her chance to make him feel at ease with her family. It's her responsibility. So mom said Iris is brave after a traumatic event in the last relationship. We don't know what that is. We didn't learn that. Mom says they're a traditional family and this is all odd. Renee said, yeah, it's strange, but we're doing it day by day. And mom is, here, it was the mom, the 2 sisters. One is in middle school, one is in elementary school. And she says that Iris has, always been there for her brother and has taught her sisters to do that as well. They're a very close family. Now, remember, Iris's brother has, I believe she said it was cerebral atrophy. And he was there and they all had a wonderful dinner. Wonderful family dinner. The sisters say they like him, and as a doctor, they can count on him to help with the brother. Renee said there's no downside. It's an experience, and it's there to make them better. Iris said men before didn't know how to respond to her brother, and she loves that Renee does know how to respond, which was very sweet. And I could understand, people before not knowing how to, treat your special needs sibling. Sylvia and Chema host Fernando and Karen. And I noticed something. There was hot Cheetos on the table. So I know I could get hot Cheetos in Mexico City. I was like, ooh, they have snacks. Okay, I see tortilla chips. I see all this stuff. Ooh, hot Cheetos. Okay. Karen, is like, I said what I said. Ooh, child. Karen, it's the next day. The heat ain't let up. You didn't let off any steam. So if Renee wants to be with her, good luck. Maybe she was a little too hot about it, and she may need to apologize to Renee. How does he feel? I need you to apologize when you got, turned it down a notch or 2. Fernando can't get you to turn it down a notch, but please turn it down a notch. Chema says he doesn't know yet what he'll say. Sylvia also says she's not sure. Fernando said it's a yes. Karen says it's a yes for her right now. But if he breaks her heart, he breaks her daughter's heart. And Chema says, don't put that pressure on him. Don't put that pressure about breaking up with your daughter too. And I'm glad that Chema says it because he is a dad. His daughter is involved in this. And he's not putting that, all of that onto Sylvia. Fernanda did not like that last night Gerardo just turned around and went to sleep. They were about to be intimate, and he just rolled over and went to sleep. Next morning, she is angry. She is mad. She doesn't want a roommate. He didn't even say goodnight. He just rolled over. And it's only intimacy time whenever he wants to. He's like, I don't want to sleep with you every single day. She's like, she always wants to. Mm. Gerardo, that's a problem. I'm sure several people may want. Some people don't see that as a problem. Fernanda says, same when he didn't ask her what she wants to eat. He doesn't consider her. He's served himself breakfast. He didn't serve her some coffee. He's always thinking about himself. Now, I have a problem with the always. Gerardo says she has a lot of trauma with abandonment and it's coming out now. She says she's always thinking of him. He's not always thinking about her. Pause on the always, Fernanda. You just said it's one time he didn't bring you breakfast and coffee. I think it's a snowball from you getting curved when y'all went to sleep. He's like, if we always going to focus on the negative, then the relationship is doomed. She did not like that. He's like, you want to see me angry? You want angry? You got it. She left. She got the dog. And she left and said she don't feel supported. I'm like, he rolled over and went to sleep. He didn't go to the other room. He didn't start an argument. But because you're deprived, what if the man is tired? Because you're deprived, you snowball all the way the next day. Daggone it, girl. So they go, Chema and Sylvia's next. They go to Chema's apartment. Beautiful apartment. Large apartment. Tastefully decorated. Sylvia adores it. Said the place looked like he needs to party. Looks like the party pad. But life is not always about the party. And even though she says that, we know and we learn that he hosts his daughter, several weekends. So it's open enough for a party. It has a nice bar, but I don't think it was a party house necessarily. And Chema asked, if this was where she would like to live. And she's like, yes, he smokes. She will ask that he not do it in the bedroom. So can they keep the mattress? Because he had a lot of company over in the past years. And his lease is up in a month or two. So they will have to decide. And she's like, he's not putting on a poker face with her. Now it's, his place, but it can be our place later. And, is she ready for all of this? Because he has his daughter on the weekends. And she's like, yeah, she can be Auntie Cece to them. I like that. Sylvia's Auntie Cece. And Sylvia also said she can finally now not feel odd hanging with her friends with kids when she doesn't have one of her own. I could see her welcoming Chema's daughter into that place. That's very sweet. Fernanda and Gerardo. Fernanda needed some space. She walked the dog and says Gerardo needed a timeout and time to reflect. He's not your child, Fernanda. I didn't like how she said that. It just screamed, I'm teaching you a lesson. Ugh. When she came back, he just held her, hugged her, and said he loved her and he's here for her. And it seemed to diffuse her. She went all the way down all the notches. So they had a party at their house with her friends. Gerardo says, he's not nervous, and the friends are like going down the checklist, because doing exercise is a requirement with her. And he's like, yeah, he likes tennis and racket sports and all that. One of the friends says she's, outgoing person, contradicting another friend who's like, she's a homebody, she's not a party girl. Like, yeah, but she outgoing, she likes to do this. And the other friend's like, yeah, but she likes, she likes to pace herself. And no, she's extreme. It was like, wait a minute, are y'all for or against this? So, he says that Fernando was his top from the very beginning. And the friends say none of her exes look like Gerardo. Gerardo asks, what are her, good side or bad side, pros and cons? Friends say she's intense, and that's great for goals, but sometimes it's too intense and can be too passionate, and that can cause a problem. He's like, been there. Just this morning. Friend says she's supportive, but her weakness is days, you won't want to see her because she is passionate and fiery. The friend said, just let her go running. You stay at home, watch the dog, watch a movie, and she will, I guess, self-soothe or fizzle out. He's like, where were you when I needed this advice? But it was a great friend's visit. So Fernando and Karen, his mom visits. She, hugs them both. She knocks. Karen is so nervous. Remember, this is why Karen has been smoking. So she is, oh my God, is that a knock? Mom says she didn't know what he was doing and was shocked at all this. She has mixed feelings, but if he's happy, she is fine with that. She doesn't get involved in their stuff. She knows her boundaries as the mama. She will come over to their place only when invited, no more. See, I like a mama like that. Mom says they have been very close emotionally. He is the love of her life. If Karen loves him, then she will love her. I like a mom with that kind of boundary. She understands. They're a young couple. They are building their marriage, and mama gonna learn they have more than just the two of them. Karen tells the mom about her daughter and that her daughter's father is already married with his own wife. Mom says she needs to make sure that Fernando understands that this is a package deal. When you have a woman with a daughter or a son with a child, this is a package deal, and it's important. The mom is a lawyer and has seen this not work out for various reasons, so I'm sure she could guide Fernando. Karen says if the daughter doesn't like Fernando, she will walk away. Mom rubs her on her shoulder and, to get her to open up. And Karen said, other than being a mom, she's a person. And Mom said, you're a woman as well. And Karen says she wants to be happy. Mom says Karen seems sweet and calm. Wait for it, Mama. You ain't seen Karen. You ain't seen all of Karen yet, Mama. Karen said he adds to her life and I to his. We have life plans. Apparently they've been discussing going into business with each other, all kinds of stuff for their future. Mom says as a parent, you have to take a back seat in the relationship with your child, and the relationship can evolve into this. Meaning, your child's going to be married to someone, and you're going to have to take a back seat, and your relationship with your child will change. Mom says to Karen, I am trusted you with my pride and joy. 17 days to the wedding is what we see right across the screen. Francesca and Willie, Francesca's friend Vic and Paul come over. They say, oh, this is surreal. This is like her. At first glance, there's chemistry and they seem to get along. But if she hates someone, this is one of her friends, Vic says, if she hates someone, you have to hate them too. This is trouble. And she's like, yeah, if you mention their name and I can't stand them, I'll leave. What the? This is not mature adult behavior. If you don't like them, maybe I like them. I may not like their behavior. I may distance a little bit. That doesn't mean I can't talk to them or talk about them. Trouble, Willie, trouble, red flag on the play. Paul says, he can see that Willie has doubts. It's time to put up or shut up. And Willie said, let's not add all this pressure. Let's not add. So Paul asked, if Francesca, is going to get left at the altar. And that ends episode 6. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here and looking at this video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend. Give it a thumbs up. And I'd like to see a comment. What did you think? Who may be left at the altar? Paul brings up a great thing. Who may be left at the altar? I'd like to see your predictions. In the meantime, see you on the next video.